We continue. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on CBS Sports Radio. The defending champion UConn Huskies are going back to the Final Four. They'll do battle in Phoenix, Arizona, coming up Saturday evening up against the Alabama Crimson Tide. And now joining us is a star player from the UConn Huskies, their big man in Donovan Clingan. Donovan, always appreciate the time. Congratulations. Thanks so much. And how have things been?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Things have been great. Got back to the Final Four, back in the gym, practicing with the guys, trying to, prepare for some high level competition and, just get ready to go to Phoenix.
How do you process going back to the Final Four when reality starts to set in? That's a goal of your guys all throughout the season, was to get back to this spot to have a legit chance to defend your title. Now that it's here, just how do you kind of look back and process on the journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. Every basketball player as a little kid dreams of, playing in the Final Four, playing in that national championship game. And, to make it to the Final Four 2 years in a row, it's a, dream come true. Just to perform at the highest stage of, the highest level of, basketball that you could perform at. College is a, another level. And, just the Final Four, the competition, the teams you're playing, when you get out there, the atmosphere, everything that goes on, the experience, you remember these moments forever. And, but you really just, you don't take anything for granted. We're all going to be hungry. We're all going to be, wanting to win. And, that's just one thing that's special about this team is, this team will never get complacent, and we're going to go out there and give everything we got.
It doesn't matter what school you play for. It doesn't matter where you cut down those nets when you're able to do that and you're going to the Final Four. It's very special and surreal. You being someone, though, that grew up in Connecticut and grew up cheering for the UConn Huskies, now to play for them and also to be in TD Garden after an Elite Eight victory, and you're cutting down the nets and you were a Celtics fan growing up as a kid. I see the smile on your face. That just had to be a little extra special, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you grow up in Connecticut, you're born and raised, and when you get to college and you throw that Connecticut jersey on across your chest every day, it means a lot to me. Just to represent the state at, a high level. And, this is such a historic program that's, made a lot of history. So just trying to insert myself into that history. And, that's what everyone on this team's doing. We're just trying to become a part of history, do something special. But, for me to be from Connecticut and be able to, represent the state at a high level means a lot. And, like you said, cut down the nets at TD Garden. I never thought that would happen. That's a dream come true for sure. There's a lot of legends that have walked that floor, walked those hallways. I'm extremely blessed for the opportunities I've been given to, playing here at UConn. I'm not gonna take this one coming for granted.
Donovan Clingan is my guest right now. UConn back in the Final Four. The defending champions will go up against Alabama on Saturday for a trip to go to the national championship game on Monday night. It feels like, Donovan, this group is as hungrier as ever. Sometimes when you win a championship, I know there's so much change in the sport, some complacency sets in. Why is this group just as hungry, if not even hungrier than the group from a year ago?
Really just for the returners, that feeling of winning last year was the best feeling that you could ever, you could ever feel of, playing this sport. It was just such an unreal experience. And, if you want to be great, if you want to go on to do great things, you got to fall in love with winning. You can't get, happy with where you're at. You got to keep on wanting more, keep on trying to achieve more. And, I feel like that's one thing with these returners that really try to do, but, bringing in these new guys, the freshmen, this transfer, really just trying to do it for them and, get them to experience what, winning at the highest level is like. And, like I said, trying to insert ourselves in history. It's a special place to be. We got a special coaching staff. Coach Shirley really instills, that hard work into us, and, that hunger of, just keep on wanting to win. He really, doesn't take it easy on us. He always pushing us, even though we've done some great things this year. We all realize what, our ultimate goal is.
I absolutely love Coach Danny Hurley, but what was your first impression of him when you first got to meet him back in the recruiting process?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of games, came to a lot of games throughout the recruiting process. You just see his energy and his love for the players. I used to go watch a bunch of practices, and, I'd be like, oh, wow, I mean, this this seems brutal. He's yelling at you. He's pushing you to a level that people have never been pushed to. And I feel like that's something I needed was being pushed to that that next level. And coach is doing that. But even though it may not seem it with all the yelling he does, but he really loves us. He really wants what's best for us, and he's just he's putting us in the best position to be as successful as possible. And I give coach a lot of credit because we got a lot of talented players on this team, who could go score the ball, at will. But he always puts people in the best position to succeed at a high level as a team, and he just wants to win. And I would go to war with him every single day.
It's one thing to go on a 10-0 run. It's one thing to go on like a 15-0 run, but a 30-0 run is just out of this world. Just how do you even describe? I know you guys are great. You're the team to beat in the tournament, but how do you even describe how that was possible that you guys were able to go on a 30-0 run?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like none of us really had any idea what the run actually was. We were just having so much fun out there. This team just loves playing for the guy next to us. We love playing, to see other people succeed. We're not worried about our own stats. We're not worried about, how many points we finish with at the end of the game. We're just worried about, as long as UConn wins, everyone's happy. And we were just going through that run, playing the best defense that we possibly can, and just sharing the ball on offense, finding the open man, and making the right reads. And that's just one thing that we were trying to do to break the other team's will. And we just kept trying to put them away. Even though we were on a 12-0 run at some point, we didn't take the foot off the gas. We kept going because we're trying to end team season at the Elite Eight, and teams aren't just going to walk away. They're not going to just give up. So, we really got to try to put teams away. And I feel like, that's what we tried to do. And, our defensive intensity and our defense was unreal.
This group, they make it look so easy. I know it's not actually easy and there's a lot of work that gets put into it, but why does this group from afar seem like you guys don't fall to the pressure of everyone say, okay, we're gunning, we're going to give UConn our best effort because we know they're the team to beat in this tourney?
Yeah, I mean, no one practices like we do. Our intensity in practice, the way we practice, how long we practice for, and it's harder than the games. It's more than the games, and I feel like that prepares us to play at any length of game, any type of game, and really takes the pressure off of us. Coach puts us in positions throughout practice that we feel pressure to try to win drills, try to win segments of a live, or free throw games, or just like little stuff. He builds that pressure into practice, so when it comes to the game, it's just like it's natural, and we're not over working ourselves up and being stressed out.
Donovan Clingan here with us. How about the individual attention you receive? We see you now getting projected as a top 5 pick in the upcoming NBA draft. We know that you're the star player of this team. From last year to this year, it's been a big jump, and there's more expected out of you. How have you been dealing with that individual attention?
Yeah, I mean, I just block it out. I realize what's at stake. I realize what's in front of me right now, and I try to tell myself you only could control what's in front of you right now. And that's 2 games, hopefully this weekend and Saturday and Monday. Really not thinking about what's next and not thinking about, the future. It's really just, what can I control right now? Don't listen to, the outside noise of, what people are saying, and really just work your butt off to, achieve high things. People could say whatever they want, but you really got to put the work in to try to, make it to where you want to make it to. And, really for me, I'm just worried about UConn. I'm just worried about this team, and I'm just worried about, going out there and trying to compete for a national championship.
I respect that answer, but I have to ask it. When you get set for the Final Four, do you feel like this is your last run at UConn with all the NBA speculation?
No, like I said, I really haven't thought about next year, thought about, what I plan on doing. And I love UConn so much. I love being here. I love the staff. And I love the culture. Walking this building every day puts a smile on my face. So whenever the time does come, it's going to be hard to say, goodbye to this program, but, I'll be, I don't see, I'm not thinking about next year. I'm not thinking about the future right now.
Let me ask you about Alabama, the opponent, talking about the future. There's what is next for you. We all know that you two both have incredible offenses. Defense is going to win this game. How do you guys lock down defensively to try to contain this juggernaut that is Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great offensive team. They shoot the ball at a high level. We just gotta, stick to our script. Stick to what we've been doing, and just raise our intensity to another level because the level we're playing at, and where we're playing at. We're playing in the Final Four game, against a really good Alabama team. So they're going to raise their level. We have to raise our level. And we just got to guard. They're very, they move the ball well on offense. They make a lot of threes. They get to the rim. And they're well coached. So we just got to really put the work in this week in practice, lock into the film, lock into the scout, and just be ready to attack this matchup.
For so many years in college basketball, Donovan Clingan, people have said guards win this time of the year, backcourts win this time of the year. You've been dominated at UConn as a big man. We've seen what DJ Burns has done, another big man at NC State. We know the biggest guy, Zach Edey, has been on some run at Purdue. What does it say about the big man right now in this sport?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, big men have a big impact on, how teams play and how the game's, going. They have a big impact in the paint on offense. The big men are the ones setting the screens to get the guards open. They're rebounding the ball, blocking shots, defending the rim, defending the paint. And we just try to be as dominant as possible. For me personally, I can't speak on, everyone else's behalf, but for me personally, I just go into the game every game. Like, all right, how am I going to protect the rim at a high level? How am I going to rebound at a high level? And how am I going to, help my team win any way possible? Whether that's 15 rebounds, 10 blocks, and 0 points, I'm willing to do that. For me, it's just trying to have an impact on the game and, give the other team different looks, between me and Samson about, different offensive looks, different defensive looks. And, really just as bigs, we're just trying to dominate the game and, dominate and impact our team any way we can.
Before I let you run, this is nothing new. At UConn, the men's dominate, and then the women's team also dominates as well. You guys are both now in the Final Four. Just to see Paige overcome all the adversity and UConn punch that ticket last night to another Final Four on the women's side, just what did that mean to you?
I mean, it's really cool. I'm happy for them. I obviously, Paige last year didn't have the years, she expected. And through last year and this summer, I've seen all the work she's put in and, how much time she spends in the facility trying to get better. And that whole team, they've had a rough year with injuries and, everything that's happened on their side. So just to see them, succeeding at a high level and, performing at the best of the best and, make it to the Final Four, I'm happy for them. I'm rooting for them. And I hope they go out there and get the job done.
Yeah, how much have you been paying attention to the women's tournament with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese? You have Dawn Staley and the undefeated South Carolina team. Have you been paying a lot of attention to it?
Yeah, I've been watching the games. Last night was a great night for, the sport. Watching Angel Reese and Clayton Clark, battle that one out. That was a good game. And, watching Juju and Paige in that second game, it was, it's great. Been definitely tuning in.
Yeah, last thing I'll ask you, Donovan Clingan. We always say this, that this UConn team feels like it's better than last year's UConn team. What do you think about that since you're on both those teams?
Yeah, it's hard. I feel like, it's a whole group of different players that play totally different. We're still, coached the same, intensity wise and, how hard we play and what we're doing on the floor. Last year, I feel like, just certain positions, there was, just different looks. Sometimes last year we were a little bit better at putting teams away, towards the end of games. And, right now this year's team is, doing a better job at that. But it's really hard to say, which team's better. They're both two teams that were filled with a bunch of special guys. And, I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Well, I appreciate the time. Good luck coming up this weekend. Thanks so much and
Thank
appreciate you coming on today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me.